Welcome, everyone, to Understanding CBD, episode 44, the final episode of 2020, that is. I got you there. I am Stephen Wallman.
I am Max Sobel.
And we are broadcasting live here at the WCBM Talk Radio Studios this beautiful Sunday afternoon in the beautiful Pikesville, Maryland, right? Where we're here every Sunday from 2 to 3. Before we get started, I'd like to mention that the information we discuss on this program is for general education purposes only, and it's not to be intended for medical or professional legal advice. Is it, Max?
Nope, not at all.
Not at all. If you'd like to join the conversation today, pick up the phone and give us a call. The phone number at the studio is 410-922-6680, and our engineer Noah in the booth today, and he's got his Max and Stevens hat on.
There
Max,
he is.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that. Thanks,
We got to
Noah.
take a picture of that and put it on the socials.
We
Nice.
appreciate it, man. Thanks for the support. He's in there in the room. He'd be happy to talk to you. Give us a call. It's our last episode of the year. So if you got something nice to say you'd like to, maybe we can even get you on the air. We do appreciate it. Also, friends, you have to know this. Not only you don't have to be tied just to the radio because we are extended and we're not limited to the tower of WCBM.
Although it's a nice size tower.
Yes, no offense, WCBM.
No offense.
We can be accessed on the internet, so it's not even the same comparison. But go to understandingcbd.com at the top of the page, click Listen Live, and it's really that simple. Every Sunday from 2 to 3, that works. The other 167 hours during the week where you're just wanting to hear Max and Steven and our fantastic guests and Doc G, you can also get the episodes on there. So very exciting. We also want to thank Max and Steven's Premium Hemp Extracts. And, of course, no coincidence, it's our hemp CBD company. We are co-founders of that business, and we urge you to go to maxandstevens.com, pick up a bottle for yourself, your loved ones, your pets, anyone. It's really the best quality. And we always say, if Max and Steve will say, what we say is in the bottle.
Is in the bottle.
It's in the bottle, that's right. And, of course, that opening song, My Way, written by Paul Anka, if you know that or not. Frank didn't write it, and beautifully performed by the chairman of the board, Old Blue Eyes, Frank Sinatra.
That's right. And very appropriate song. I mean, talk about a couple of guys doing it our way, right?
And this year was tough, right? I mean, it requires that song has become the American anthem for self-determination.
For many people.
Yeah, and that's really what's been required, to get through this year. And, you're not going to want to miss the show we really have for you today because it is the last one. We really, it's really important. Speaking of self-determination, our guest today, Rebecca Spain, you may not know her, but she's a fitness expert, hemp advocate, a mom, incredible story. She's really doing great things for people all over the world. So we're looking forward to welcoming her here. We have Doc G and Doc G's Corner, always providing tremendous amount of value
And sage advice.
and sage advice for truth. And he'll be in here as well in Doc G's Corner. Then we wrap up our show. We hear stories from Max and Steven's customers, and also give you a chance to hear what's been going on during the week in a section that we call
Mail Sack.
Good enough.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Thank you, Noah, for queuing up Mrs. Mailsack.
That's right, Mrs. Mail.
So that's great. Okay, everybody, we really want to say that from Max and I that we are sorry. From the bottom of our hearts, seriously, we are sorry to everyone who has listened to the show this year. If for some way we have offended you, that for some reason if your voice wasn't represented here on the show, or maybe you disagreed with something we said at some point, or maybe you just didn't like our singing when we sang Mail Sack. We're truly sorry.
Yes, please forgive us. All of the wonderful listeners of WCBM AM 680, if you've listened to us this past year, whether it's once or 43 times before, and for some reason you didn't get any value out of our words or out of listening to us, we want you to please forgive us.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So listen, we're so grateful to be on the radio here, really, and to speak with each and every one of you in this unique way that radio provides. We're really grateful. We really want to thank you for listening. We want to thank you for calling. We want to thank you for emailing. Of course, we want to thank customers that have actually placed orders through us. For reaching out to our guests and being and welcoming them into your circle of information, and we really are grateful for that.
And finally, we want you to know that we love you, each and every one of you, live radio listeners, podcast listeners, every single one of you. You've given us purpose this year, and you've given us a reason to be here. You've encouraged us with your questions, and we love you.
Yes, we do, and it's made a difference, because we also want to announce that we have been awarded the most listened to talk radio show on WCBM.
Interesting.
Did you know that?
I did not know
you didn't
that.
know that.
No.
Well, it's true, and it's between the hours of 2 and 3 every Sunday.
I see.
Yes.
Well done, sir.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Well, either way, it's an award, and we'll take it.
Yeah. So we do appreciate y'all very much. Thanks for listening. And what we're going to do now is give a little look back over this year really quickly, just to do a little reminiscing of this past season for us in 2020 when it comes to the show. But what we just did was a traditional Hawaiian process called Ho'oponopono when we were apologizing, and we're going to go through that in a little bit more, but it's a process that is used for forgiveness, a way that you can help yourself through transitions. A lot of times during the year end, we do a little retrospective and take a look at it. So Max and I just demonstrated that for you. The specific steps to be used, it's really a simple 4-stage process. And to outline them for you, the first step was and is repentance, saying you're sorry. That's really the first step to this process. Second is forgiveness, is really asking for forgiveness for what it is that you're sorry about. Giving gratitude, which is a way of saying thank you, and then of course finishing off with I love you. And this prayer or process for forgiveness is an ancient Hawaiian process. Again, it's called Ho'oponopono.
Ho'oponopono. You told me my pronunciation was spot on yesterday.
Spot on. A lot of people have a problem with that. I give everyone a chance to do it. The interesting part about it is our guest has heard of it. The only came up in conversation. She's originally from Hawaii. So that process, hopefully we get to it later in the show, but we just want to let you know that we are grateful. That's what we just did there. It was a pretty nice exercise. I'm excited about it because it's something I've used for many years. So now let's take a quick look back, Max. I wanted to ask you, what was your favorite episode of 2020?
So there's that fine line you draw between the episodes I remember versus my favorites.
Well, can you believe that it's been 44?
No,
this is 44,
no. We were just talking about it in the car how it seems to fly by. But okay, so let's give credit where credit is due. Our very first episode really stands out in my mind because for the listening audience, in case you don't know, we were not live. If you recall, Stephen, we actually recorded over there in the studio,
right?
To be played live while we were actually at an event which was before COVID. So interesting.
Yeah, but thinking back to that, it wasn't even a year. What was that, in March? The beginning of March, right?
I think so, yeah, somewhere around there. And I remember just the whole concept of sitting in front of microphones and recording a radio show and just the whole thrill of it. You and I were very excited. We probably were
terrified.
We were too loud on the microphones. I think we got yelled at a couple of times.
We hit the tables and we thought we were on Howard Stern show.
But Gary was just sitting there grinning at us the entire time, and we just felt like $1 million, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So for
what a
me,
great coach.
so for me, it's that first episode.
Nice.
Yeah. And you?
It's funny you say that because Gary's final episode
okay,
was episode 31. That was, and the reason why, and it kind of goes on the same line. Gary really did push us to do this medium to communicate to our customers and to the world. And if it weren't for him, we wouldn't do it.
That's true.
He finished off that segment with a mail sack and a personal letter from him to us, and it really meant a lot.
Very much a tearjerker and very much appreciated. That was a fantastic episode, but did you forget about the prank that happened at that episode, too?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember when Doc G called in? I think it was around 4:20 on the clock, funny enough.
It was. If you go back to that episode 31, 4:20
I remember it was close,
it's pretty funny.
Doc G called in and basically said, hey, guys, I just wanted you to know that since Gary's leaving, so am I. And then he's like, prank. But anyway, that was cool.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Great episode. We also do have some stats, too. You've got some stats from the stat machine we have.
Yeah, so
of people that have listened to the show, and we have an award to give out.
We do. We have an award to give out. So the most listened to show was episode number 35, and that was the benefits of plant-based medicines. That was about, last I checked, it was 103 total listens, and that's across all platforms. So congratulations, Zachary Heidemann. You're a good friend of ours, and we appreciate it. Your show was our most popular show so far.
Yep, you got an award coming to you. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Yep.
And the plant medicine. It's a really fantastic opportunity. Now on the side, who was, since episodes are episodes, who was your favorite guest?
My favorite guest.
Not anything against anyone. Go ahead.
My favorite guest had to have been, it was a fairly recent one, Shorty Rossi, episode 42. Just meeting that guy and just sort of, getting to know him and the mission and us being animal lovers, et cetera. I just think he was my favorite guest. He was a great conversation. And I think he does a lot of good for our furry, four-legged friends.
Yeah, and I even loved how he started that episode off by saying that you really have to be out for something bigger than yourself.
You got to be passionate about something, right?
Bigger than yourself.
Bigger than yourself.
And and that's what he kind of, the message he brings, and he lives it. And I agree. He was also a great guest. Max, you're asking me my favorite guest?
Yeah. I'm asking you, what was your favorite guest?
My favorite guest was Eric Stamper. For those that you don't know, he's a veteran. He's local. He's does a lot of Initiative 22, a lot of initiatives for veterans. The conversation was so interesting. We got so much feedback. He actually spanned 2 episodes, and was episode 22 and episode 23.
Practically your entire family has been on the show here, and you're sitting here telling me that Eric Stamper. No, we're just kidding, Eric. We appreciate you.
Well, I thought you were going to say Mrs. Mailsack, but
like I said, that Shorty was my second favorite
Right.
guest.
These are all.
There she is, a sign from above.
Great. Well, everybody, we thank you very much. We're coming back right after this break with Rebecca Spain.
And welcome back to Understanding CBD. Love is our religion, whether it's Ziggy Marley or not, but love is our religion, certainly.
It's the most truest thing you've most ever said today.
100%. Welcome to segment 2 with our main guest. And, I'd like to just throw out our phone number. So if you'd like to call us in the next 45 minutes or so, the number to reach us here at the station is 410-922-6680. One more time, 410-922-6680. And our guest, whose chosen genre of music was reggae, and did we do a good job, I hope, is Rebecca Spain. Now, she's a fitness expert. She's a hemp advocate. She's got a blog called Reset and Restore. She's done a bunch of different things. Now, Rebecca, typically, we'd bring you in by asking you to introduce yourself, but I'm more interested, and the audience is interested in this. Now, nobody's going to be able to see this unless they check us out on the YouTube, but I'm actually waving and putting on. Rebecca was kind enough to give us a custom-made mask made out of hemp. So, Rebecca, what's the passion around hemp? What is it?
Well, I think as everyone probably already knows, besides the value in the CBD and our endocannabinoid system and how it, resets and restores our body, well, hemp also as a fiber resets and restores our land. It's healthier for our environment. It's less toxic than cotton, which causes us to use more water. And just kind of over the years, we've been a little bit toxic overall to our planet. So hemp is a way that can restore through the fibers. And there's so many uses through paper and clothing. So, we just took advantage of this time, I suppose, in helping people through making the hemp mask because they're more breathable for one, and also that they're more eco-friendly.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite masks to wear, admittedly. It's
Yeah,
very
and
breathable.
thank you for sending the ones with our logo.
Yeah.
They're personalized for Max and Stevens. We appreciate that. Now, do you make these yourself, or what's your role in the mask part?
So I connected with the Hemp Foundation, which I'm working closely with, and they're based out of India in Uttarakhand, which is right on the foothills of the Himalayan mountains. And what we're doing is actually going into villages and helping these poor, impoverished farmers through hemp farming. Now that it's been legalized there about in 2017, but it's something that they grew years before, and then they got persecuted for it when it became bunched in with its cousin as a drug. So they're going in to educate these farmers and helping them to say, hey, we can grow hemp and we can do this farming, and then we have a supply chain to be able to take these fibers and make clothing and other products such as hemp protein powder and paper and whatnot, and then market it for them, and at the same time help these farmers who have been actually migrating out of the area and COVID has been a big thing too.
Yeah, I was going to
Migrating
ask you a
out
few.
to find work.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a few questions about that, if you don't mind. One is hemp and cannabis grows wild in the Himalayan area, doesn't it?
Right. Yes, we have Himalayan hemp, and so there's some things going on there too with trying to further legalize it, because there's some loopholes where they want to introduce, like a foreign seed when the Himalayan hemp grows naturally and it's great for the environment there. So.
Any good Yeti stories?
Have you been
Any
to
Yeti
Have you been
stories?
to
Yeah,
any? Have you been
Himalayas?
to the Himalayan mountains at all?
I have not been yet. I am itching to go, so very
Yeah.
soon I will be there.
Well, that's I always love to do as much research as I can when we have special guests on. So I did a little research and looked into a lot of the cultures and the opportunities and the lifestyle in that area. And it is it's an area of much it's been a lot of combat for many years. But one thing I did learn was that the goats there have a special fur on their belly. That it's like that's where like the super cashmere goats from. Their fur is something like that. I wasn't sure if you were going to start making goats include any of those.
She's focusing on hemp.
but and also helping a lot of people in the community, which were interesting things. And to connect this all to Baltimore, you did teach some classes at Johns Hopkins, isn't that right?
Yeah, that was kind of the start of the reset and restore kind of movement. And I at Hopkins, I went in and I taught the employees that kind of sit at their desk and have a desk job how to reset and restore through movement. So that's that's what I did there.
Nice. And for those that are just tuning in, we're with Rebecca Spain, health coach, also helping the world with hemp, and has a great perspective on a lot of things we want to talk about. Now, the connection with CBD, especially with the Reset and Restore with your blog, can you tell us a little what's inspiring this, and how does CBD fit into that for you?
Well, I think what I was mentioning earlier, just how health-wise, how it's a reset for our neurotransmitter system, and it's a nutrient that we all need in our bodies. And just from my experience over the years, starting to implement and utilize more CBD myself, I've recognized how it's improved my own health.
What do you use it for, if you don't mind us asking?
What is that?
What do you use it for? CBD. If you're comfortable sharing, if not, that's okay.
Yeah, no, I use it for many reasons. I think for a holistic sense, but it does help for relaxation, to de-stress. It also helps to quicken the mind. It's not just, there's different ways to use it, of course, and different strains and whatnot. But it helps you to be more clear, and especially especially for me, because I'm such an ideas person and such a kind of go-getter and taking action, and sometimes and I have a big heart to be able to help people, and sometimes that can be really overwhelming in some ways. So having CBD helps me to de-stress and to relax and to come to clarity and whatnot.
Great.
Right, and on that same line, because that's one of the things that did stand out, is your ability to see clear through troubled times was important, and that's how Ho'oponopono came up, and mainly because you're from Hawaii, right? And you took class. Tell us a little about it, because I don't know if you had a chance to listen to our little demonstration at the beginning of walking through the process, but just explain it to the audience of what it is and really introducing it. What's been your experience with the secret ancient Hawaiian prayer? What do you say?
So Ho'oponopono, I think the ancient Hawaiians used it as a form of reconciliation. So whenever there was conflict within the community, they would come together and listen to each other and put out their grievances and offer their forgiveness and try to come to an understanding. So Ho'oponopono, there was a practitioner course that I actually took this year, I think in March or so. But I was always familiar with the term, but there's like some certification process. And with that, it's looking within yourself and taking responsibility for everything that's happened in your life, and kind of resetting, reflecting back on maybe some deep hurts or wounds, or, kind of stepping outside of yourself and looking at how you grew up, the environment, what shaped you, and kind of releasing all those things and resetting so that you can peel back the layers and come to new levels of your potential. So I did a lot of that, especially in the beginning of this year, and I think a lot of people did, when we've had to be isolated and look more inside of ourselves, because often we get busy and we don't look inside and look at deeper roots that we kind of need to release, whether it's unforgiveness for our family or things. And when we're stuck inside and isolated, we start to reflect a little bit deeper, which I think is a good thing. So I did a lot of that too earlier this year, and I think the more that we can reset and restore within ourselves and take responsibility for everything, the greater potentials that we can reach.
Amen to that.
When you say, take responsibility for everything, I know at least when I first started and was introduced to it, was probably one of the hardest things to look at someone that you may have an issue with that appears to be in your way, and look at that as an internal challenge that you need to overcome and reflect it back to something that is really, in your experience and your perspective, is difficult. You got any advice for that for some beginners, or?
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. And as far as advice, just keep at it, keep digging, and keep releasing things. I think it's a process that you have to continually practice. And maybe one advice that I can give that has been useful for me, that's something that I've done since I was in college, is keep a journal and write out things. So one of the journal, a simple one that you can do is at the end of the day, write down what you've been thankful for from the day. So maybe if it's just 1 through 5, and you just write down something you reflect back in the day and write down something that you're thankful for. And that goes a long way, because you set your mind in a different place, and where you're always looking for the good. And then you'll start to see that even the bad things, or the things that, stress you out the most, are actually those blessings in disguise that challenge you, because we need the challenge. Mm-hmm. We need those challenging things to help us to see how we can overcome it and grow.
And open our eyes.
Yeah, that's beautiful, and that's really powerful. And we're, and from an instructor perspective, the 4 steps really, from what I understand, can be done in any not in any particular order, but the most important part is not necessarily just saying the words "I'm sorry" or "I love you" or "forgive me," but it's feeling it and knowing what that feels like. Right? Is that?
Yeah. Right. So yeah, the process is when you're saying "I'm sorry," it's like you're apologizing to the divine and the divine in you, and you're saying, "I'm sorry for all those things that are not who I truly am." So, and that's, I'm sorry for all those things or the things that I do that are not living true to who I am. And then that's a deep thing, like, who are you, right?
Yeah, it's very big.
And taking those times to self-reflect and look at yourself, and am I the person that I want to be? Am I in line with what I'm created to be and what my divine purpose is?
Yeah, and that's powerful, and I really do. How can people, if they want more information, Becca, how can they connect with you? What's the best way for everybody to reach out?
I think just by email or text if somebody wants to reach out and set up a time to chat. My email is Becca, BEKA 77 coaching @gmail.com, and my phone number is 808-430-8887.
Awesome. Thank you, Becca. Thanks for being on the show. Thanks for being a great guest, and Happy New Year.
My pleasure. Thanks for the music.
Thank you, Rebecca. It was nice seeing you.
Everybody stick around. We're coming back with our own Top Gun. It's Dr. Benjamin Gonzalez in Doc G's Corner. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Understanding CBD, as we are here every Sunday on WCBM from 2 to 3. Right now, we're honored and extremely grateful to welcome our own Top Gun, Dr. Benjamin Gonzalez from Atlantic Medical Wellness Center in Silver Spring, Maryland. Doc G, welcome to the show.
Gentlemen. Hey, you caught me. Yes, I'm a doctor that does house calls. So
Nice.
I was in the middle of house calls. I didn't make it back to my home or to the clinic on time. So pulled over, and I'm in my truck. We're ready to do this call for you.
Well, we appreciate it. This is our last episode of the year. Max and I are extremely grateful for everything you've contributed over this past year.
Yes, sir.
And even this, in between, patients coming in to talk to the audience, we appreciate it. I know everyone does.
Yes.
Well, it's my pleasure. Well, I am Dr. Ben Gonzalez, and this is Dr. G's Corner. And I want to talk a little bit something different today, that there is a trap your physician is in, a trap between the search for what is right for you, the patient, and what your physician is allowed to recommend. Your doctor must follow the rules of their medical boards, the FDA guidelines, state and federal government policy, and up-to-date research. Unfortunately, there can be conflict between all of these entities and organizations, and here is where the trap lies. An unethical doctor can manipulate the conflict in this system to their advantage by recommending a service, a prescription, or a product not needed or covered by insurance, or withhold a service or product poorly reimbursed by the insurance system. How does this translate to you, the patient, and how does this relate to CBD? Your primary care medical physician or nurse practitioner or physician's assistant are all caught in this trap. An ethical physician will do whatever most benefits the patient based on training, experience, and intuition. Ethical physicians are caught in a system of conflicting interest between medical board policies and government regulations concerning the use, recommendation, and distribution of CBD to their patients. There is no debate as to whether an appropriately sourced full-spectrum CBD works or not in specific medical conditions. There are multiple studies supporting the safety of CBD, though more human studies are needed in recommending CBD for specific medical conditions. Where my frustration lies, along with many of my colleagues, is the poorly regulated CBD products that are unethically marketed and targeting you, the consumer. I make my recommendations based on hours and hours of research and practical application in different medical settings. Do not be afraid to ask your doctor whether CBD is right for your medical condition or overall health goals. Give your primary care provider the opportunity to learn and do research on their own. Seek a provider who either knows how to use and source CBD or is willing to do the research. I'll be speaking extensively in the future in future Dr. G Corners discussions on this subject and the use of CBD in medicine. And for more information about medical use of CBD oil and sourcing high quality and specific type of CBD for your medical condition of concern, you can message me directly on Instagram at Ben Gonzalez _MD. That's BenGonzalez _MD. Also, call me at the clinic and set up an initial telephone consultation at 301-622-2722. That's 301-622-2722. And I hope that helped you guys.
Always, Doc G.
Always sage advice. That's
Thank
a great
you again,
word.
Doc G. Happy New Year to you. We appreciate you. That was our favorite, Dr. Ben Gonzalez, Medical Director at Atlantis Medical Wellness Center in Silver Spring. Coming up after the break is the segment that we've been waiting for.
Mail sack.
Thank you, Noah.
Doc G wanted to sing Mail Sack. Happy New Year, Doc G.
Thank you, Doc G.
Happy New Year.
Welcome back, everybody. Final segment here today. WCBM AM 680, Understanding CBD with Max and Steven. Quick last shot at a phone number here. If you want to reach us for the next 15 minutes or so, 410-922-6680. And then without further ado, it's our segment called
Mail sack.
You've got mail.
I actually wish that the real mail was moving as fast as Noah is with that cue, because
Yeah, for real.
it's really, we definitely have been having some issues with the United States Postal Service. No offense to you, much love for the work that you do, but you got to get our packages out to our listening audience and
Yeah.
our customers.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Is we hear from our customers. We understand that everyone working for the Postal Service is working hard,
Yeah.
and that they get sick just like everybody else, and there can be glitches in the systems and so forth. So we apologize to our customers, but yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, and we can do, unfortunately, no more than you can do, and that's why we provide the tracking, and we're always happy to let you know where your package is, so let us know. So that's a preemptive apology to you, but you will be getting your packages late. I can almost guarantee it. But you know something? So is everybody else. So let's all just be a little bit mindful about ordering on time and making sure that we have enough. And, of course, we always have drive-through service for people who are close to us.
And actually, Max, it's probably worth mentioning because some of the things that we do as a business to try to, this is our chance, we can talk about ourselves.
Right, finally.
To make the packages increase the chances of them arriving as quickly as possible.
Yep.
Not only do we ship it the same day,
Yep.
but we actually drop it to the post office.
Right.
We don't allow the carrier to pick it up because that's another step.
Right.
So we've eliminated the step of carrier pickup to deliver directly to the post office.
Yep.
And hopefully that at least makes it a little better potentially. Eliminates one area we could.
Well, we can empathize with you and call us, email us, and we will absolutely let you know the status of your package. And we will make good, of course, on any packages that arrive damaged, which doesn't happen often. But if it does, just know that we'll be there for you.
Yes.
So back to mail sack. So we wanted to cover a couple of things and some special notes from customers. So I think it was about a week or so ago, we got an email from, let's call him Tim. And Tim is a consummate athlete. He actually he mentioned that he recently enjoyed one of our radio broadcasts. So thank you, Tim, for listening to us every Sunday. Thankfully, you don't have anything better to do during this time.
He didn't say all that. He
I
didn't
know,
say he
yeah.
listens every Sunday.
No, but you're right. He said he listened to us on one.
Yeah, right.
He's an athlete. He has friends that are athletes, and his question was, with all of the people taking pharmaceuticals, is CBD something that he should try? And it's a question that we get all the time. I mean, there's a couple of things to keep in mind, Tim, and for everybody else that's listening. I wrote him back and I said that we can't make medical claims. That's not what we're here for. We're here to ensure that what we say is in the bottle, and that we're giving you the best possible product that we could give you that we'd be comfortable putting our names on. So speak to a health professional. Now, anecdotally, we have many people, athletes, who use our product. And the stories we hear from them is they use our product both under their tongue as well as topically to do things like keep the stress levels down. Keep the inflammation down. Certainly topically on the skin after doing a lot of athletic-related things. But there's a great resource that you can use, and that's our website, understandingcbd.com. You can go right in the search bar, and you can take a look at some of the articles we have there about probably every subject you can imagine. In addition to that, we have a Facebook group. It's called Understanding CBD by Max and Stevens, and you could always pose your question to the group members. I mean, there's almost 400 group members who use our product, have somehow been involved with our product. So it's a great place to ask that question. So that was our first one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the other thing that I kind of took out of his question was that he was really wondering if it's too late. Like, is his body too beat up?
It's never too late.
Is CBD going to even be able to help him at this point?
You know, it's one of those things. What do you have to lose, right? If you're conscious enough to understand the benefits of a whole hemp plant product, right? It doesn't work like a pharmaceutical. It's not a pharmaceutical. Mm-hmm. It's not like that. It's not man-made. It's a whole plant. So if you're open to embracing that, why not? What do you have to lose? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Right. You got a good question too, I believe. You got
yeah. Well, it's in the Facebook group that you were just talking about,
right.
And if you are on Facebook, it's Understanding CBD. It's a private group, so you have to be invited to it, or you have to be accepted into it. So it's not just anyone; it's administered, and there's certain rules to it, and what you can say, what you cannot say. But it's really there for people to understand more about it. So over the holidays, people post different things. I actually shared a dish I make for it was my grandmother's favorite fried fish that I make, and I cook all day long. I love cooking, putting love into food and letting people eat. It's great.
Love is your religion.
It's my religion. That's right. And but my low back just aches standing on the kitchen floor if I'm not on a mat or have my shoes on. Mm-hmm. I get the low back pain, so I use CBD regularly under my tongue, and I put some on my back. But the interesting part of this was we have some chiropractors and physicians in the group as well. And
we do.
And we got some other responses that, hey, I recommend this to my patients to both use sublingual and topically because both of that. And Max, you always say that when people come. You call it the Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail of solutions for me. It's one of those things, if you're dealing with chronic pain and you're comfortable trying this, there's no reason not to. There's absolutely no reason not to use it both under your tongue and then a couple drops topically on your skin.
Yeah.
And you can limp in if you want, literally and figuratively. You can put a little bit on your skin and see if your limp gets any better, and then go from there. And then
you start. And it's important because as we finish the year, we have a huge contest going on right now, and it's an opportunity for one of our listeners or someone that is subscribed to understandingcbd.com.
Right.
You can actually go on the website, sign up for our newsletter, and that is a way to enter the contest. Now, Max, tell them what they're getting for this contest.
They're getting a year's supply of CBD, one bottle shipped to you every single month for 12 months. You're also getting a couple surprise promotional items from us, as well as some stuff from Doc G.